everyone, it's me Celine from Vintage Gaudi. Welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel and welcome to another toy hunting tour video on my YouTube channel. Kind of spontaneous thing. I would say, yeah, let's grab the backpack, let's go, let's see if they have something nice for me. What do you think? I really like this one. It's Monster High. The Mickey one looks also really pretty. So cute. There's a lot of cool bags in here. There's a new modern Polly Pocket. I don't need it. They have like dolls and so. A lot of baby born, but not so much of Barbies. So I found this doll here, this Barbie. But it is super crowded right now, so I'm not sure if I can reach everything. So cute. So here is more, but not really the thing that I'm collecting. But I think these ones are cute. What do you think? And they have ponies, like newer ponies. Or these ones here. Yeah. Sorry, I can't film so much because it is really crowded, and they constantly are bringing new stuff here. So I'm not sure how long I have to stay here because they constantly bring in new toys and books, etc. and so on. So yeah, what I noticed, there's a lot of LPS, but from the 2000s. I have no knowledge about the LPS actually, but since I opened my shop, there is I got someone who reached out to me. If I ever find LPS from the 90s, she would be interested in it. So I'm not kind of buying stuff for other people, but it kind of gave me the opportunity to read a little bit more about the LPS actually from the 90s. And so yeah, I'm also looking a little bit for them because honestly I think they're really pretty. So I'm back in my car again. I'm so sorry I couldn't film so much as I actually wanted to because it was so crowded and you had like I got pushed like from one side to another, like here, there, and then since it is also specifically for kids and so on, you got a lot of kids like grabbing in front of you and etc. and so on. So at the point I simply stopped filming because it wouldn't have made any sense actually, unfortunately. But I have made some cool finds actually, so I'm quite happy with them. Right now I think I will drive either way back home or eventually stop at another thrift store. I don't know yet, so I decide spontaneously on the road if I will do the stop or driving right directly back home. So yeah, since it was also really crowded and it was in like what is it called? Turnhalle, like gymnastic hall, like which is next to the school actually, where the school kids do have gymnastics, etc. And it was so loud as well, like acoustically from the noises. Like you have kids running, screaming. You had the parents talking in many different languages. So I'm here in Switzerland, but I heard like English, Spanish, Italian, French, German. So it was, for my mind, totally overstimulating hearing all these noises. And I was like, at a point I was in front of the dolls like searching, and I didn't realize I was like there at the point and searching through the dolls. I was like, what am I doing here? What? Hey, I got completely, I don't know, I got completely confused just because of these noises and this acoustic hall noises, etc. So oh my god, it was overstimulating so much. But still, I could manage to find something, so I am not sure if I will go back home or stop at the thrift store. So for you, either way, now the haul starts, or there will be footage from the thrift store.
So here is the dolls section, and I just saw we got a candle, so I decided to come to the thrift store. The first one that I wanted to go was really crowded, so no parking lot was empty, so yeah. And I came here to the second one, and I just had luck because one car we moved from the parking lot, and yeah, I could take that space. Oh, she's really pretty. I think I have her. Isn't she the Barbie style or Barbie something with that towel, with the blue towel? But I place her aside for the moment. So, because I'm wondering what else will be here. Cute little Shelly / Kelly. The inline skating Barbie is still here, but I have her and she has a haircut. I don't really know who she is, but also unfortunately a haircut. We got the horse. So, she's cute. She's definitely an early 90s Kelly doll. Well, I also place her for the moment aside. Let's see what else is here hidden underneath. Oh, this is definitely Barbie. So we'll give that to her. Here we got some boots, which I think belongs more to, I don't know, Monster High or so. Let's place these horses a little bit aside. Action. Sticker. Got another sticker. So what else is here? Stapler. Barbie, Stapler. What's this? Stapler. She's still here. What else do we have? Most of them are really sort of Stapler and Walt Disney. This knockoff. Yeah, I think that's so far from it. We got a lot of Staplers. So we got more cassettes like Hex and Lily. Hello. I think this could be quite old. There's a kid just grabbing stuff in front of me, trying to take all away. Whatever. So this is from the 70s. Could that be? No, I don't think so. Just the thing, the inlay looks from the 70s, but the cassette is not. And I do have it. Found this bag here, which has fashions in there, but I think the most is not Barbie. I think pretty sure this is Cindy fashions. We got some can trousers, more stuff. There are also shoes in there, but I think the most of them are knockoff, except This one's here, or the single one could be Barbie. I think it's a wrist box, so I just don't really see anything. Here's a Barbie playset. What year? 2006. Too big for me. What else? Games. Different games. Just really don't see anything popping right now. Anything that screams to me or something. Well, yeah. difficult. Oh, here's a cool Monopoly, right? Is it the original? Yeah, I think that's the original. Oh, Swiss Rally. That looks interesting. Never saw that. Yeah. Just found this Barbie book on how you can do Barbie's fashion, so you can sew her own fashions. I think it's really interesting, but honestly nothing really for me, so what do we have here? I think it's cool. Asterix and Obelix. Oh, this looks quite old, right? Lucky Luke.
And now, welcome to the whole part of this video. Well, actually, I really found some nice stuff, which I was not expecting. But in the end, I went to 2 thrift stores, and one was this Kinderartikelbörse, so kids items or kids item exchange thing, and that is actually a huge thing in Switzerland, or like in the area where I'm living actually, because at this specific day today actually there have been many of those kids item exchange events, like really many of them. I just went to this one here because it was the closest one, but I know from a fact that there have been more of them today, because those events happen in spring and in autumn, just twice a year, and seems to be quite a huge event, so I will keep my eyes open for the one in autumn again. Well, yeah, let me start with the things that I picked there up. I just didn't film so much, but I already explained it because it was so crowded, and also noise, etc., which at a point was too much for me. But well, I picked up this Barbie. She was one of the first finds that I've made. This one here is the 1998 Princess Barbie. I already have Princess Barbie, but I picked her up because she's in really good condition actually from the fashion. So the dress is in really good condition. The one that my doll is wearing has like rippings on the side, so yeah. And I want to check with mine, because I'm not sure if mine eventually has cut hair, but this one here seems to have her original long hair. Also, she has the original earrings, and I think the necklace is hers too, so yeah. What I noticed is that her body or arms, one is an angle and one is sort of straight, so I am not sure if she really came like this, so I have to check with mine too. Plus, this doll has shoes on. Not sure if they are her originals or not. The only thing about this doll, which I could not see there, because if you have seen in the footage, this doll got taped around this dress, so she was taped like this, so I couldn't really see underneath how she looks until I got home. So well, she is really dirty. Looking back now, dirt is no problem, so I can remove the dirt actually, but looking back, I paid 4 Swiss francs for her. Still, she has her original outfit, really nice doll, but the dirt, I mean, why are you doing that? It is for just clarifying, it is not a flea market. It was not a flea market. So it was an event where like the parents, when they want to get rid of, like, for example, clothing from the kids, or like in this case toys, you can bring those stuff or those items there, and they go sorting through it, and then they labeled like a price, and they were selling then those items at this specific event. And with the money, so like as a parent, you got a number, like for example, let's say this is number 10 or so. So all the items you bring were labeled with number 10. And whenever like someone is buying it, they kind of write it down from what number it is. And I'm not sure if in the end you will get the money. So yeah, it is sort of kind of that thing. So when you are doing that, I think it should be simply like how can I say, humble. It should be simply that your stuff is clean, right? So you are exchanging technically to other parents your stuff. So also your clothing, make sure it's washed, make sure there are no stains or so. And the same goes for the toys as well, like in this case. So why did you bring a doll that is super dirty? I mean, yes, I mean, in flea markets and so, I really grab in dirty box and dirty toys, etc. But I expect it to be there dirty at the flea markets, but I don't expect to have dirty stuff actually there at this event. So that is something that I've noticed actually lately, that people who are kind of donating stuff, they leave it dirty, they don't care, they don't put the effort to clean the stuff. They just like it's trash. So like, here is the super bad haircut painted on doll, here smells like basement or so. So I don't know what happens actually, but when I do, and I do have my own online shop right now, online, yeah, and all my stuff that I put online in my shop, I make sure if it's either clean, or if it's not clean from me, I make sure that I write it down and says, is it clean? Yes, no. And if there are any issues, like for example, spots, like or paint drip, I said, look, here is a paint drip, look, this fashion is damaged or so. So I make that sure that you see it once you are buying, and so you don't get any negative surprises, like here with the dirty legs of her. Of course, yes, I can clean it, that's okay, but it shouldn't be that way, right? So I think for 4 Swiss francs I could have gone to the flea market and buy her, and since I do already have her, kind of the thing. So I don't know what's happening actually, if people just don't care anymore or whatever. Anyways, that was the first pick. Then I have found this book there, which is a Papa Moll book. So Papa Moll is also something typical, I would say Swiss, together with Globi. So you have maybe heard me talking a lot of times about the Globi books, but Papa Moll was also as famous, or still is as famous as Globi books. And this one here is actually sort of vintage one, because this must be from the 80s. According to the inscriptions here, this was released in 1982. So the first Papa Moll books came out in the 70s, and you see by Globi Verlag. So Globi is the other book, so like with this blue parrot, and they have their own company releasing these books. So technically Papa Moll belongs to Globi as well. And this one is from the early 80s, which makes it quite an old book actually, which I was then thinking, for 3 Swiss francs I will take it. What is also special about it, about what I love this, or actually love, what I think is interesting about these 80s books, is the things that nowadays you wouldn't do, or you wouldn't write, or you wouldn't release a book about it. Like for example here, Papa Moll smoking, like, it's not a cigarette but like a cigar or so. Nowadays, if you would release a book like this with one of the parents smoking, absolutely no go. But back then in the 80s, it was still sort of normal. And I think like for nostalgic reasons, to have this book, it will be really, really cool. So that's the reason why I picked it up. But still, I mean, of course, nowadays we know what happens when you smoke too much and blah blah. So that's not the topic about it. But yeah, it was released back then in the 80s, like him smoking. So yeah, that's about this. Not about this book, but yeah, you can still see newspaper smoking. So it is a different time period, sort of a timestamp from what was considered normal back then in the early 80s. So yeah, and I grew up with Papa Mall books as well. I somehow remember that we used to go to the library and rented like the Papa Mall comic books, because I don't remember having my own Papa Mall books. So I had Globe books, my own Globe books, but Papa Mall, I think I remember them like from the library, that we rented them for a certain time, then we had to bring it back. So kind of cool thing. And yeah, Papa Mall as nostalgic as Globe books for me as living in Switzerland. Then I have picked up this one here. This is actually a sort of DVD. Yeah, no, it is a DVD. I was just first thinking, oh, maybe it's a PC game, but no, it is a DVD. So DVD number 2. Probably there have been other or number 1 DVD, and this is Polly Pocket. So they are using here the Polly logo from like the 2000s, and I mean it is DVD, so it must have been released from the early 2000s on. I couldn't find actually a year on when it was released, unfortunately. Maybe no, on the inside, yeah, 2005. So here on the DVD itself, I see it is from 2005 plus minus. I have never watched actually this Polly Pocket thing, but I saw it there, and it was, what was it? Was it also 3 Swiss francs? No, wait. In total for the items at that event, I paid 11 Swiss francs, which makes it 4 for Barbie, 3 for Papa Mall, makes it 7. Yeah, then this must have been 3 as well. So I kind of wonder how this is, because it is like this animated, sort of cartoony-ish Polly Pocket thing. So yeah, kind of want to watch it actually. And yeah, I never had it, so I'm exciting what the story is about. Then, so I don't have that actually on footage. And what I also don't have on footage is this cup here. This one was 1 Swiss franc. It is a little bit dirty, so I can clean that. That's no problem. But I had to pick it up because it has this image from The Lion King, actually, which gives me nostalgic vibes. There is no year on it, unfortunately, so I cannot tell you if it's really a vintage kind of cup. So it is a plastic cup, hard plastic cup. I think you can put it into the dishwasher, but you shouldn't put it into the microwave. But like the color scheme of it kind of gives me this late 90s, early 2000s vibes, when like the movie came out. So in the when did the movie come out? Somewhat in the 90s. And I think this is from the second Lion King or not. I'm not sure. But however, this kind of reminds me of my childhood, of course. I grew up watching, unfortunately, these sad movies in the in the TV, and we had it on VHS. But I kind of am mixed feeling about if this is really a vintage one or if this is like sort of a remake. Color scheme wise, I would have said this is a vintage one, and since it is just from like 1 Swiss franc and you can easily clean it, it's a simple nearly unbreakable cup or so, I had to pick it up. So that is what I picked up at this children items exchange event. Then I went to the thrift store, where I actually have found this cassette, Hexe Lili und das Geheimnis der versunkenen Welt. Hexe Lili is actually really a cassette or a story for really young kids, actually. So like for me, for example, I'm listening to Barbies and Barbie cassettes. Barbie cassettes are more for a little bit the grown-up children, like I would say, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years old, and Hexe Lili is like for 2, 3, 4 years old. But however, I kind of like the simplicity, is that a word? Simplicity, or the simpleness of this cassette or of this Hexalili cassette line actually. So I had to pick it up, and it is produced by Europa, which I think is a great company to do cassettes. So kind of really cool. Is there a year from 2006, which makes it actually also 20 years old. So I'm wondering if it works. I don't know how much the cassette was actually. Wait, do I have the receipt? Did I keep the receipt? I did keep the receipt, but what is it? 90 cents. Yeah, this one was 90 cents, which is a great fair price for a cassette because I don't know if it works. So the risk is on me. Then I have picked up this Barbie doll, which is somehow a mystery doll for me. In the video footage, I probably say it must be something like from this My First Barbie or the one with the towel. The one who is wearing the towel is not a My First Barbie or Barbie style, but a fun to dress Barbie. And she does look like a fun to dress Barbie makeup wise. But Fun to Dress Barbie came on straight arms and not on bent arms. And Fun to Dress Barbie had different shaped white earrings, so more like this diamond shaped earrings, while she has these studs, these white studs, and she has a white ring. So actually at this point I don't really know who she is. I have kind of looked up, and one that is really close to this doll is actually the 1993 wedding day Barbie, the deluxe box or something like that. So the wedding day Barbie, who was released with Stacy and Todd next to each other. There have been 3 versions of this doll, but 2 of the versions are off the table, so she's not one of those 2. And the third one, the picture is so blurred that I couldn't really zoom in to check the eyelashes and so on. So maybe she is that doll, but I cannot really tell who she is. So in case if you know who she really is, write me down in the comment section down below. I really would appreciate that. I am actually pretty sure she has never been swapped. So my guess was also she must be fun to play Barbie swapped on a different body, but I don't think she is. So I think she's on her original body with the bent arms, with the ring and the earrings. So who is this doll actually? Which doll is it? So write me down in the comment section down below. I would really appreciate it. The thing that she's wearing is actually not Barbie or so. She is wearing something that is homemade actually, but it looks really cool. It has something 2000-ish actually, but it's not a Barbie dress, so I will not ending up keeping it. And this doll was, how much was she? She was $2.90. 2 Swiss francs 90 cents. And then with her I found this cool bag, which is a Barbie bag. It came with many fashion packs. It came also in sort of the Fashion Avenue line, but it was also released with some of the dolls. So at this point I don't know where this specific bag is from, but I know it must be somewhat from Barbie. Plus I have found where was I walking actually? Oh, I was walking somewhat like in the plushie section, and there was this thing here, and there was like, oh wait, this definitely says Barbie. It is from 2002, but I don't know where this cardboard Barbie kind of bag thing goes. So in case if you have an idea, help me out with that. That would be really nice. Then I have picked up this game. You probably, if you're watching my videos, know this game. This is the Disney Club Spiel or Disney Club game, the game to the famous TV series. I have at the exact same thrift store already 1 or 2 months ago picked up this game in a really bad condition, and I totally overpaid it for that because that game was not complete. It had water damage, it was gross, it was disgusting, and I paid too much for that because there at the store I didn't check it. So unfortunately I should have done that, but I didn't check it. I was like, oh my god, Disney Club, this must be really cool, and so on. Now I have found the exact same game again in a much better condition. You can see still some rippings here and there. That is totally fine. But this game is actually complete. And that is amazing because, first of all, it has the instructions. Now I know somehow how to play this game. So you have to put together your own kind of TV show together with like the interviewers, which is Mickey, Minnie and Donald, and you have to do like the series with cartoons like Chip and Chap, Captain Baloo, and you have also some news or some games that you have to put together your own TV program. So basically you are this game is about being you as a director, as a film director or so. So now I know somehow how to play it. And this game is actually complete. And for it, I paid $9.90. While the other one, the one in the bad condition, incomplete, I paid $18.90. So why did I make the same mistake again and rebought this game, even though I do have it already? Because I want to have one complete to know how to play this game actually. And so with the instructions, I can copy these instructions, I can place it in the incomplete one, and the incomplete one was missing one dice, so that should be no problem. Oh, and one figurine. So the incomplete one has all the cards, has all the things that you need to play, but missing one figurine and one dice, and the instructions. And yeah, I mean, one dice and one figurine are easy to replace, but the instructions were difficult, and online I couldn't find any or the detailed instructions of it. So I bought this game again, and now to have one that is really good condition, really complete, and that is great. And the other one I will then let go probably on my shop or so. Then I bought these bags full of pins. But first of all, I want to show you this one here. I don't have it on camera, so I kind of picked up for 1 Swiss franc these two characters from Toy Story to these pin bags. So I've been lately super much into pins, and I have bought a lot of different pins, and also some of them are online in my shop, but a lot of them I kept for myself. And when I saw these bags, each bag was $6.90, and that makes a really good average per pin for me. I had to have them because in here are also some really cool nostalgic pins that I want to keep for myself, of course, but also the ones that I don't want to keep, I will put them online or trade. I think it is also cool to have the pins up for trades. Or not specifically for trades, but as like a little goodie bag or so, or as a goodie thing, I would like to have that. So now what I'm doing is I open all of them. Not all of the pins do have the matching cap to it, unfortunately, so that makes it a little bit difficult to put them online or to actually make them hold somewhere, but you can rebuy those caps actually, so it shouldn't be any problem. And I want to go quickly through it because I think there are a lot of really, really cool pins. So I sorted them, even though it doesn't look like it, but I made some sort of topic. So I think it will be unnecessary to go in detail of each and every single pin, but showing you like the groups that I have made actually. Here are all like pins for certain club memberships or racings that has happened. So just picking like randomly one, for example, this was like a ski club Safien, which means ski club. Safien is a little town, I believe, in Switzerland, and it says 1946 till 1996, for example. Or this has been from like an event, Frauensporttag, so Women's Sports Day, 1997 in Vila. So I believe it must have been something about gymnastics. Here is the same one in silver, actually. So we got a silver and gold one, which is interesting. So a lot of these pins are actually also doubles. So yeah, kind of fun thing here. Then what do we have? For example, here is also Bündner Skiverband. Bündner is, or Graubünden is actually one of the Swiss cantons, and I grew up in Graubünden, so I got somehow like this, resembling actually. Then like over here, for example, is all about cheese. So we got also some cheese pins, for example, Käse Schmidt. So we got these cheese pins 3 times. Oh no, there's another version. So I got in total 5 of it, but like in 2 different color schemes. Then we got the Tilsiter cheese, which is also quite famous for the 100 years of Tilsiter. Then we have the Sprinz cheese. So it is all about cheese here. Then, oh, let me place this airplane. Let me put it up here. Here is more like trains and cars and so on. So we got here, for example, Schindler wagons. Here, like Schindler is a train company in Switzerland. We got different pins. Then we have, for example, like Erfrener Waldschönengrund. I'm not sure if that's a garage or whatever, but it has this car on it. This one here is a garage, for example, Garage Lehmann. So I placed it there. Then here is like beer stuff, so yeah, you cannot really see it, but I placed it here. For example, we got here Löwenbräu, Zurich or Zurich. Like we got those pins, and we have this one here which says Haldengut. I'm not sure what Haldengut is, if it's really a beer company, but Santa Claus is holding up a beer, even though you know actually that you don't drink and drive, and that means also not flying, so Santa, don't do that. And here's another Haldengut Christmas pin. So yeah, we got cheese, we have Christmas, we have those here. I'm not sure what these ones are, but these belong together. It's cigarettes. Cigarettes. It says, I believe, Vogue Super Slim Cigarettes. 2 pins. So when we have talked about smoking, yeah. Here is something about motorsport. So we got Abo Racing Team. We have here Motora and Aprilia Mohawk Switzerland. So I think that's more like into motorcycle stuff. Here is something like a bakery actually. I got 3 pins of grandma, like Jova Bakery something. So I'm not sure if Jova is actually the company, the baking company from Migros. So I don't know yet, but I placed all the Jova stuff together. Yeah, we have some single ones here and there, foreign ones. So we got here some foreign ones, which is interesting. I got 2 pins. The same ones from Canada, which says Whistle Mountain, Canada. Plus, I got this one here from Calgary Tower, Canada. I'm not sure if this Calgary pin is actually from the Olympics back then or what it was, but we got this Calgary and those 2 snowboard Whistle Mountains. Plus, I got something what I think is Norwegian. I got this one here that says Seljord, and I'm not sure if this is the Norwegian flag or if it's something else. And I got this one here, which I'm not sure if it's Norwegian too, which I think should say Warringfossen or so. I think it's a waterfall, or what is it? Crystals? I don't know what it is actually. Banana? Don't know. But I think they are more into the foreign stuff. Then if you want to go to the Maldives, here we got Maldives pins or Maldives pins. Here's also part of totally random pins. This one here made me actually smile because technically says Lachen steckt an. So smiling is contagious. One translation. Varo, I'm not sure what Varo is for or was for a company, because some of these company pins are resembling companies that nowadays do not exist anymore. So not all, some of them still do exist, but yeah, not all actually. Here we go with Coca-Cola. So I do also have some Coca-Cola pins, 2 pair of doubles and 1 single one here, for example. Coca-Cola is the music, and this one here says it too. And we got here the Coca-Cola Santa Claus. And then here is Folk. Folk is also sort of a grocery store, but more a local grocery store in Switzerland, who is more into like the smaller towns than Migros. Migros is more into the cities and little or bigger sized towns, and Folk is more into smaller sized towns. But Migros, I do have a really big collection of Migros. So this person who collected this pin must have been like a Migros child. There's this ongoing joke in Switzerland actually, where you ask your friends, are you a Migros child, are you a Coop child? Because theoretically, I mentioned shortly before, Migros, Coop, and also Folk are like these grocery stores, the most well-known grocery stores in Switzerland, the biggest ones. Nowadays we also have Lidl and Aldi, but Coop and Migros and Folk are like the Swiss ones. And like as I mentioned, not all of the Migros were everywhere, so sometimes you got Coop, but you didn't have Migros, so you grow up with Coop. And so that is this kind of ongoing joke between Swiss people, like, are you a Coop child or are you a Migros child, which means with which grocery store actually did you grow up? And nowadays kids do have the whole variety, but back then, like for example in the small town, you had Folk, so you are a Folk child. And or like in the town that I grew up, the next bigger town had Coop, so technically I'm a Coop child. So that's this ongoing Swiss joke, just like a little history thing about Switzerland, because these pins, most of them resembling something Switzerland. Here is the pins which are not resembling specifically something. They eventually don't even have any sayings or so on it, or any labels. Like for example, I got this super cool fire truck, which I think, or this might have been like maybe from a fire department or so. Or I do have this ballerina pin, which I think is also really pretty, and I kind of consider keeping this pin actually, or the unicorn as well. So yeah, this is like the group of the pins without any branding, or not many brandings actually. Plus here I do have the swatch pins, so I got them double. I do have two of the swatch pins, and yeah, I like the Swatch brand actually, so I will put that, or I will keep one of it, the other one I will let go. But Swiss watch, Swatch, Swiss and watch makes it the Swatch, right? So yeah, that's a lot of pins. Up here I do have some food things. For example, here we got Lindt Banago with Speedy Gonzales on it, which is interesting. Or for example, Whiskas. Whiskas is like, yeah, for food, for specifically cat food, or like Tommy. Well, yeah, this is my pins collection that I now have in my sort of collection. Some of them I will keep, the other ones I will eventually then put into like trade boxes or as gifts, and the other ones will end up in my online shop. So yeah, I really hope you liked this video. Please go check out more of the videos on my YouTube channel. Click the subscribe button, and we'll see us in the next video with Vintage Gaudi. Bye!